Hey everyone, Joe Waxman here. And in this video, I want to talk about Aries Sun through the houses. I'm going to give you a general description of Aries Sun, and then we'll go through the placement in each house. So, Aries Sun. Sun is exalted in Aries. A lot of you probably know that already. And what does that mean? Well, the exaltation means that Aries Sun feels it has a very high opinion of itself, and it's usually um, tries to be dignified. When planets are in good dignity, they act well, they behave well. That's not saying that an Aries Sun will always be on what most people call or generally like the good side of things, but there is a general sense of integrity, honor, um, confidence, and self-esteem with Aries Sun. These are people who are ruled by Mars. The Aries is ruled by Mars, so they're go-getters. This suits the Sun very well. They can be natural leaders, very inspiring, very passionate, very high energy. When they come in the room, you just feel like, everything's just kind of lifted. I mean, it's kind of similar to Leo's Sun, but more focused. Aries Sun is much more like I always felt like Aries had like kind of like the flamethrower energy versus the like furnace type energy of the Sun. The Sun is very the Leo, right, is very stable and fixed, and it's just big and bright. But the Aries is very super high energy. Aries Sun, very confident, great at starting new projects, great leadership ability, very inspiring. They can lead others, really get a group going, charged up, passionate. These people can be quite aggressive. Uh, Aries, Mars, Aries Sun, Aries, anything can be quite sharp and aggressive, high energy. If they get angry, super angry. But they're not always angry. A lot of times they're just really super fun because they're just like burning at like level 10 intensity at all times, pretty much. They laugh a lot. They're doers. You know, and they're gonna get everyone else to do, you know, attack like they do. I think they are just inspiring others. Because Aries is the first sign. It's the fire starter. So they can inspire that kind of high energy in other people. Some people don't like to associate with the more aggressive side of Aries. They say, "Oh, I'm not aggressive," and that could be true depending on where the moon is. If it's a new moon or newer moon, where the moon is not bright, or it's balsamic moon, or there could be other factors depending where the sun is and the ascendant, the aspects to the sun. Um, but regardless of whether these guys have that hot temper or not, I bet if you push an Aries who likes to think that they're not like the Aries, you know, you'll see it. Like it'll probably come out, but like you'll definitely see it with Mars and Aries. Mars and Aries are like. But the thing about Aries and their anger is that it's short-lived. It's not like an angry fixed sign like a Scorpio or Leo or Taurus or Aquarius. I mean, these people, when they anger, they just can hold it for a really long duration. It's with Aries, it's like super intense, and then it blows off, and they've forgotten about it. They're laughing it up, and you know, maybe the person who they're mad at is not laughing it up. Maybe they were really hurt because the intensity with which they can come at people or things or it's unrivaled. It's the god of war, Aries. It's super duper intense, and these people um, they like working, they like being active, they like Aries is often so it's ruled by Mars, so sex does play into it. They fighting and being. Sorry, I'm just a little, I don't know why I said it like that. I don't want to curse, I guess. I don't but you get it. I don't like being too crude. It's my Virgo moon. Puritanical, what can I tell you? All right. So if you have Aries sun in the first house, then you have an Aries ascendant, unless you're doing quadrant. We're doing whole sign house for this. So Aries ascendant, Aries sun, um, and fifth lord in the first house, because fifth lord would be Leo would be in the fifth house, fifth whole sign house, fifth in the first. So these people are bright as can be, right? They're just leaders, magnanimous, potentially very arrogant, cocky. But you know, when they walk into a room, they're just gonna light it up and make everyone feel passionate and bright and fiery. They can be great entertainers, music, art, performance, actors. Very creative because they're bringing in that fifth house energy. Um, Leadership is very strong with sun in the first house, especially with the Aries like this. And whatever they do, it's going to be infused with like an intense, burning brightness, right? Bach comes to mind, the composer Bach. And if you listen to his music, like you can hear, well, I can hear, you can, if you're sensitive enough, you can hear his sun in the first house, the Aries sun. It's so intense, so bright, like the sun rising. All right, so if you have Aries sun in the second house, that means you have a Pisces ascendant and sixth lord in the second house, because Leo would be in the sixth house. So here you're combining sixth house and second house with a Pisces ascendant. So you can be like a health food teacher because of the voice, like speaking, teaching, food teacher, any mundane sixth house um, associations. You can be teaching and speaking about. You could be just a regular speaker, or let's see what else. Like anything involving competition. Sometimes you see lawyers from the sixth house. Anything to do with food or money or health related issues, sports, like a sports announcer could be potentially. Um, yeah. What else? Service oriented. So yeah. It's a good position, even though sixth house is bringing in a lot of conflict. Sixth and seventh, sixth, second, and 10th are a triad. They're the work and career and resources houses. So it tends to work okay. Yeah. And you're bringing in with Pisces ascending, you're going to bring in a lot of creativity, sensitivity, potentially spirituality, things of that nature. And of course, you always have to look where Mars is and where the ascendant lord is, and the moon. I mean, obviously, we can't look at the whole chart with this. So if your Aries sun is in the third house, then you'd have an Aquarius first house. If we're doing whole sign house again, and then it would be seventh lord in the third house. So this could be body work. I've seen massage therapists have similar placements. This could be sales because you're working with others now in the third house, communication, music, writing, media, science, there's the intellect. It's a very courageous position for the sun. You could have any sort of business involving other people or writing or media or intellect, anything with those themes. And yeah, it's Aquarius ascendant. So again, like intellectual stuff, scientific things, counseling could be a potential here. And yeah, any sort of like media type, including creative. It could be very creative, like theater, production, things of that nature as well. All right. If if you have your Aries sun in the fourth house, then you have a Capricorn ascendant, and it's eighth lord in the fourth house using whole sign housing. Now this is kind of difficult because you're bringing in the malefic eighth house into the fourth house. So there could be problems with the father because the sun does relate to the father, and even though it's exalted, it's still you're bringing in the eighth house. So there could be issues of abuse or abandonment, loss, or just distance from the father, sexuality. In the worst case scenario, you probably need an aspect from a difficult aspect from Pluto for the really worst situate abuse kind of situations, but there's always potential for that. Real estate inheritance, because the eighth house deals with inheritance and fourth house deals with real estate. This can be very creative and deep feelings because the eighth house these are both water houses, right? So a lot of deep emotionality, feelings, and a lot of creativity can come out of that, especially fourth house because home is where the heart is. So there's a lot of creative emotionality in the fourth house. This could be like a brick and mortar store that has eighth house themes, like an occult store or astrology store, or rocks, gemstones, anything underground, oil related. Yeah, so like somebody who owns a gas station, things of that nature. Somebody who deals with oil and has an oil business, including like offices, like an empire, sort of like a oil tycoon, things of that nature. What else? It could deal with other eighth house things like taxes, tax office, being a tax, working in like a building or as a tax agent, insurance, anything to do with death or sex. Could be like a prostitute working in a brothel. Could be somebody working, as in a morgue or mortuary. Politics as well, because fourth house has to do with politics. But this would not be a politician who is like on the front running for office. This would be more behind the scenes because the eighth house negates the public image that you would need because it's periodic death, and if you're going through periodic death from the eighth house, then you're ruining your reputation. You constantly have to rebuild your reputation and fall from grace. That's the thing about the eighth house. It's periodic, like death. It is what it is. It's part of life, but hard to be a politician when you're like, going through public ruin and disgrace. All right, if it's in the fifth house, if your Aries sun is in the fifth house, that means you have a Sagittarius ascendant, and ninth lord is in the fifth house. So this is all about education and creativity and philosophy and spirituality. The fifth house as well as the ninth house have to do with spirituality, religion, adventure, entertainment, teaching children. You're combining two fire houses. So bring in the higher aspects of the ninth house, bring them into the fifth house. So every time I make a video, my phone starts blowing up. It's really annoying. Not every time, but sometimes. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so like this is a very fun combination. A lot of entertainment and creativity and fun and games and romance and adventure, like all the fifth house things combined with the ninth house. So like education of all kinds, high and low, and philosophy and religion and traveling and luck and confidence. This would be a really good combination. if you have it in the sixth house, you have a Scorpio ascendant and 10th Lord in the sixth house. This is a very competitive house because of Aries, right? This is so like you'd expect like a fighter or a real competitor here. A hard worker. Um, let's see, it could be now it could be you could bring in like sports and entertainment with this because of the Mars. So like, so like more competitive sports like boxing or fighting or mixed martial arts or even anything like, I mean, it could be any sport because they're all pretty competitive. Um, and Aries, has that Mars physicality. This could be involve some entertainment as well, competitive entertainment. Could relate to food, cooking, like a celebrity chef or just a chef in general, fighting competition sports. Anything to do with like critical thinking as well. Mars is very mechanical, so could be like um, you know, computer programming or engineering, things of that nature, because of the very the mental work that you're going through in the sixth house. This could be managerial, editorial, or a coach, like a sports coach or anything like that. Because the sixth house is you're combining 10th and sixth, so it's going to be like yeah, like working in a job, but it's still like as a career. So yeah. And Scorpios are very competitive anyway, so there could be a lot of fierce, fierce competitiveness in this position. Libra ascendant, uh, 11th Lord in the seventh house. So your Aries sun is in the seventh house. This is a speaker, a communicator, a entertainer, a motivational speaker, very inspiring. This is somebody who could be on stage performing in front of other people, an actor, musician, singer. This could be a counselor, a therapist, dealing directly with other people, a businessman, business partnership, or a group leader, some type of group or community leader, dealing with um, other people. Sun in the seventh is not really so great at relationships because there's so much ego in it. They need relationships because that's how they gain their identity. But it's really best it's almost similar to Mars in the seventh. It has it's really good for like being a boss, being a leader, being on stage where you have unequal relationships, like because the sun is generally going to have an unequal relationship in the seventh house. So like if you're a boss, you're speaking, you're leading, where your ego can shine and other people are okay with it. That's something that you'd want in the seventh house. Both Freud and Jung had a sun in the seventh, not in Aries, but regardless. So like definitely like counseling and therapy type stuff. Well, so if you have your Aries sun in the eighth house, it's 12th Lord in the eighth house because Leo will rule the 12th house. You'll have a Virgo ascendant. So this could be very good for astrology, occultism, psychology, any type of therapy, deep research, science, investigative type stuff, secrecy, spying, secret agent. You could work in any of those fields, dealing with all the hidden things. I mean, it could be even more like psychic or spiritual, dream world, dream interpretation, combining the secrets of the 12th house with the secrets of the eighth house. So like the secrets of the secrets, really hidden stuff. Yeah, CIA, FBI, secret agency, spies, all that underground stuff, hidden things, hidden networks, things of that nature, and very analytical at that with the Virgo ascendant. Now, if you have it in the ninth house, you have Leo ascendant, so you have your first lord in the ninth house. So this is very straightforward. You're going right into religion and philosophy and higher education. Could be about teaching, like especially higher education teaching, law, publishing, adventure, traveling, luck. Yeah, just all the ninth house significations will be totally appropriate for this position and in a leadership role because of the Aries sun. So it's if you have your Leo sun in the 10th house, it would be the second lord in the 10th house and Cancer ascendant. So you could be a teacher, a speaker, an actor, singer, a leader, because you're taking in you're again, the voice is going into the 10th house. So all the things related to speaking, singing, resources, it could be a financial career. There's a lot of self-worth that comes with the second house. Also a lot of knowledge. So there's going to be tremendous career focus, being recognized, gaining recognition. Also food. This could relate to food because second house is the mouth. So it could involve food as well. All right. If it's in the 11th house, then you have your third lord in the 11th house and a Gemini ascendant. So this is a very intellectual position. Gemini ascendant, third lord, intellect, 11th house. Also an air house originally. So here you can be like a community leader, teacher again, working on the internet, working with technology, science, writing, media, communication, any type of working with your hands in 11th house matters. So like computer programming, could be business or intellectually related. This could just be a huge concern for social, world social affairs, like social issues. Could be politics as well. Yeah, working on the world stage for the betterment of humanity. 11th house is very big thinking about the whole world. All right. So if your Aries sun is in the 12th house, you have your fourth lord in the 12th house, and you have a Taurus ascendant by whole sign house again. So this is going to be a very creative position, very spiritual, could be acting. And so why acting for the 12th house? Because the 12th house is that deep hidden water house where we lose ourselves, but we gain a fantasy. We gain an imagination, and including an alter ego. So one of the things that happens in the 12th house is a schism, a split between who we really are and who we project out into the world. That's why acting and movies and film and cinema, photography, and also unfortunately politics are often seen from the 12th house because of that hidden nature and the schism where the 12th house can project an alter ego. You understand? Like it's the loss of the self, but the gaining of an image of the self that is imaginary, right? It's the house of imagination. And so that's why, oddly enough, we see politics here often. Politicians, because they're actors. Most of them, unfortunately, are just acting. They're lying. They're acting. They're lying. They are completely bullshitting us. I mean, you can tell I have some negative bias, but who wouldn't nowadays? I mean, we have the worst politicians worldwide. Like, I mean, it's unreal the level of dishonesty that they've come to. Anyway, that is 12th house thing. So there's a lot of secrecy in the 12th house. Um, Foreign lands, and like I said, politics, because fourth house is also politics, because fourth lord is the home, so homeland. So people who represent the home are often seen with fourth house connections. So fourth and the 12th is definitely going to have an interest in politics, especially with an Aries sun. Yeah, very creative, very spiritual. Like all the things I said. Yeah, movies, film photography. Um, yeah, and that, I mean, that's pretty much it. So I don't want to make this too long, but that's the rundown for Aries Sun in all the houses, you know, incorporating the ascendant and the house that the Leo house, which the sun rules. So additionally, you want to look at Mars and you want to look at the ascendant lord, of course. All right, but that's pretty much it for this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. And I hand drew the cover for this video. And I'm going to try and do that as much as I can, because I do have a background in art, and why not? This is what I like doing it. It's quick, it's fun, it's easy, and it's good. It's good for me, so helps it stand out, I think. Hope you like that. The I thought I enjoyed making the cover. It's the sun, an Aries sun, and he's saying, "Ha ha ha ha! I'm not angry," because Aries are often angry, but then they're like, "That's not me. I don't get angry." Some Aries are like that. Anyway, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, share. Book a reading with me. Go to my website, macroastrology.com, or email me at macrogoldmachine@yahoo.com and leave a comment. So that's it for now. All right, thanks. Bye.